My family owns a lake cabin in a pretty quiet rural area. It's been in our family for generations, and we love it. The only downside, a few years ago an HOA popped up. Most folks are fine, but one lady, let's call her Karen, decided she was the queen of the community. She's infamous for her nitpicking and power trips. My favorite rule of hers is the no unapproved guests policy. It's ridiculous, especially for a lake house where you obviously want to have friends over. But Karen insisted on a 48-hour notice for any visitor, which nobody ever followed. This particular weekend I had a very important guest coming. I'm a lawyer, and I was meeting with the state's attorney general. We were going to discuss a major environmental case I was working on, and my secluded cabin was the perfect place for a private, informal chat. He's an old family friend, so it felt natural. I didn't bother notifying the HOA first. He's the AG, not exactly a rowdy spring breaker. Second, it's my property, and I wasn't about to ask permission to have a guest. The AG arrived on Saturday morning. We were sitting in my living room, papers spread out on the coffee table, deep in conversation about legal statutes and conservation laws. Suddenly my front door bursts open. No knock, no warning, just slammed open against the wall. And there she was, Karen, in all her glory. She had her arms crossed, a scowl plastered on her face, and she was wearing a visor that just screamed, "I'm here to complain." She didn't even seem to notice the AG at first. Her eyes were locked on me. "I knew it," she shrieked. "I saw an unfamiliar car in your driveway. This is a direct violation of HOA Bylaw 7, Section C. You have an unauthorized guest. This is completely unacceptable. I'm writing you up for a major fine, and I'll be reporting this to the entire board." She was practically vibrating with self-righteous anger. I just stared at her for a second, completely stunned by the audacity of her just barging into my home. I stood up slowly and said, "Karen, first of all, you can't just burst into my house. That's called breaking and entering. Second, I am in the middle of a very important meeting." That's when the Attorney General cleared his throat. He had been watching this whole exchange with a look of mild amusement, but now he stood up to he's a tall, imposing guy, and when he stands, people take notice. Karen finally turned her attention to him. Her eyes widened. You could see the gears turning in her head as she tried to place his face. He's on the news quite a bit, so he's recognizable. The AG extended a hand to her. "Ma'am," he said, his voice calm but firm. "I'm the State Attorney General. I believe I'm the unauthorized guest you're referring to. We were just discussing some official state business." The color drained from Karen's face. She went from furious to ghost white in about 2 seconds. Her mouth opened and closed a few times, but no sound came out. She looked like a fish out of water. She stared at him, then at me, then back at him. The confidence and rage she had walked in with just evaporated. She was completely deflated. She just stammered, "Oh, the Attorney General. Oh my, I didn't. I am so sorry." The AG just gave a slight, polite smile. "No harm done," he said, though his eyes told a different story. "But I would suggest you knock next time, and perhaps review the state's laws on trespassing. It might be more enlightening than your HOA bylaws." That was it. The ultimate shutdown. Karen mumbled another apology, so quiet I could barely hear it, and practically scurried out of my cabin, pulling the door shut behind her. She looked absolutely mortified. We just stood there in the silence for a moment, and then the AG and I just burst out laughing. We couldn't help it. The whole situation was just too absurd. "Well," he said, shaking his head with a grin, "I don't think you'll be getting that fine." We got back to our meeting, but the mood was definitely lighter. I have to say, seeing the look on Karen's face was probably one of the most satisfying moments of my life. The aftermath was glorious. Word got around the community fast. Karen completely disappeared for about a month. No patrols, no angry emails, no nasty notes left on anyone's door. It was pure bliss. When she finally did resurface, she was a changed woman. She was quiet, reserved, and avoided making eye contact with me at all costs. She never bothered me again about guests, or the length of my grass, or anything else for that matter. The best part, at the next HOA board meeting, which I made a point to attend, a motion was brought forward to clarify the guest policy. And I have a good idea who made sure to add a little clause, stating that official business with state or federal government officials was exempt. It passed unanimously. It just goes to show you, sometimes the best way to deal with a bully is to let them charge headfirst into a wall of their own making. It was a day I'll never forget, and honestly, I owe the Attorney General a nice bottle of scotch for his perfect timing. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever had a crazy HOA encounter, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. See you next time.